the hedgehog who collected falling stars. There was a hedgehog named Hollis who lived in a burrow beneath an old pine tree. It wasn't much, his burrow, just a round moss rug, a little fireplace built from river stones, and a shelf that hummed faintly in the dark. A kettle rested always on its hook above the embers. A chipped mug lived near the hearth. There was a little bell by the door, though it never rang. Everything had its place, and Hollis liked it that way. And most of all, Hollis liked stars. Not the ones up in the sky, the ones that fell. Every night, after the sky turned that soft kind of navy blue, Hollis would wrap his long scarf around his neck twice, then once more for good measure, and carry a clean glass jar out into the meadow. He'd dust off the old stump where he always placed it, center it with a little nod, and then sit in the grass nearby, sometimes for minutes, sometimes longer, but always, eventually, one would fall. It never made a sound, never streaked or flashed. It drifted down like a glowing feather. Hollis would reach out gently, guide it into the jar without touching it directly, and screw the lid on carefully. He never opened them, never labeled them, just carried them home one by one, placing them on his shelf like delicate memories. Each one glowed faintly through the night. Some pulsed softly, like slow heartbeats. Others flickered, as though breathing in sleep. He didn't know what they were, not exactly, but he felt, somehow, that they were once alive. Or almost. So he kept them warm, kept them safe. His burrow had a round window carved into the ceiling so he could watch the sky while his kettle warmed. The shelf of jars gave off just enough light to read by, even when the fire went low. Some nights he spoke to them, though never loudly. Just thoughts, just presence. One night, as he was returning from the clearing, he noticed a faint glow following him. It was a firefly. Small, quiet, curious. It didn't speak, just hovered near the mouth of the burrow, then vanished when he stepped inside. The next night it came again, and the next. It kept its distance, floating near the stump as Hollis placed his jar and waited. Some nights it stayed until the star came. Other nights it left before the light arrived. After a week, it began sitting on the edge of the stump. Then one night, after Hollis guided a particularly soft, glowing star into its jar, the firefly hovered closer. "Do they always fall like that?" it asked, so quiet. Hollis adjusted his scarf. "Always. Loud stars don't fall, they crash." The firefly blinked slowly. "I don't think I've ever caught one." "They don't mind who catches them," Hollis said. "They just want to land somewhere soft." The firefly thought about that, then joined him in the grass. They sat together until the night began to fade. The stars kept falling, not every night, but enough. Some glowed longer than others. One flickered strangely when Hollis whispered good night. Another seemed to pulse when set near a sleeping jar, as though sharing some unspoken memory. The firefly returned most nights. Sometimes it asked questions. "Do you ever miss one? What do they feel like inside the jar? Do you think they remember the sky?" Hollis was thoughtful, and after a moment answered, "I don't miss what isn't mine," he said once. "They feel light, but not empty." And once, in a moment almost too quiet to hear, "I think they remember more than we do." The firefly didn't always understand, but it always stayed. Then came the first night with no star. It wasn't strange. That had happened before. Hollis still brought the jar, still placed it on the stump, still waited. The firefly hovered nearby and said nothing. The next night, nothing again, and again, and again. Soon it had been many nights. The jars on the shelf still glowed, but no new ones joined them. Still Hollis came out, still placed the jar, still waited. The firefly began to land on the rim now. It circled the jar sometimes, inspecting it. Once it climbed inside and flickered gently, pretending perhaps to be a star. Hollis chuckled, low and soft. "You're too early," he said. "They haven't come in a while." Then one night the firefly spoke again. "You're still showing up," it said. "Not accusing, just wondering." Hollis nodded. "Old habits." "Do you think they'll come back?" Hollis took a long breath. I think I'd like to be here if they do." The rest of the sentence didn't come, but the firefly understood anyway. Weeks passed. Still no stars. But Hollis kept placing his jar. One night, moonlight hit it just right, and the glass shimmered like it was full. Another night, a breeze stirred the grass, and the firefly flickered 3 times in rhythm, as if marking time. The jars on the shelf kept glowing, some dimmed, but never fully. Others grew faint, but never cold. Hollis began to hum again, a tune he hadn't noticed was missing. His scarf frayed a little more at the edge. His steps stayed soft, his heart stayed ready. He still wears the scarf every night, still places the jar, not for catching, just for being ready, because the stars might return, or they might not. But Hollis will be there either way, and that he thinks is enough, because sometimes the waiting isn't for the thing, it's for the person you become while you wait. If you enjoyed this story and would like to hear more from the Kind Chicken universe, please like and subscribe. Thanks for listening.